Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's bright and early, daily discipline, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through Thursday. We're almost to the end of the week. Hope you guys are grinding. We've had a rainy week down here in Florida. It is pouring rain as we speak. You might be able to hear it in the background. Let's talk about giving. Let's talk about charity. There's a couple different themes that I live by, at least nowadays. It used to be me, myself, and I. And that was my theme when I was younger, me, myself, and I. What can you do for me? If you're not trying to help me, fuck you. If you don't have nothing for me, fuck you. But as I've gotten older, I've tried to pursue more purpose and meaning in my life. And one thing I've realized, and it wasn't just my own mountaintop realization as I meditated, this was told to me repeatedly, but I just didn't understand it until I got older. That true purpose and meaning comes from charity, comes from helping. And it's a type of helping where you don't expect anything in return, which is hard for a guy like me because I was raised a hustler. All I'm looking for is that return. So it's weird giving instead of taking. I'm used to taking. Feels strange to give sometimes. But I noticed that as I started helping people, giving more of myself to people, giving my strength, offering my strength, but I started to feel better about myself. I started to have better days. I started to have more people help me. It was kind of a weird thing. I've had a lot of blessings from the universe in the last couple years. I don't know how else to describe it. Good luck? Who knows what it is? Shit's going my way. Finally. My whole life I've waited for this, to make a come up, to have things go my way. When are things going to go my way? I'm watching everybody else get their shit done. When am I going to get my chance? And I didn't realize that there's a reciprocity to it, that you have to learn to play the game, and that in order to receive, you have to give. You may have to give everything away in order to receive the world. So I've spent a lot of time in the last few years figuring out ways that I can give back. Yesterday I went on a little run, a little giving spree, like Santa Claus. And it made me feel good. I got a buddy of mine who lives across town in the hood. He's been a Latin King shot caller for 45 years. He's been down with that since the beginning. He was with King Blood in prison. He's been to Rikers, Attica, you name it. Name a prison in New York, name it. Name one, name one. He's been to them all, twice, 3 times. He's got 5 kids, and he's still struggling. He's not like me where, oh, I'm doing my best to be on the straight and narrow. This guy's still gangbanging. He's struggling. He's a 65-year-old man, still struggling. So I went by, helped him out, gave him a few things that he could use. He wasn't expecting it. Made me feel good though. Went over to my brother's. My brother has a good job. He doesn't need any help from me. He's pulling in, I don't know what he's making at this point, but he makes a fine salary, 100 grand a year or something like that. It's enough to keep him going and to live a lifestyle that he wants. But I went over and helped him out a little bit because he's been down, and I realized that maybe it's not financial help that I can always give him. I used to carry that motherfucker. My knees were sinking into the mud. I was almost waist deep in the mud, still carrying him. People in my own family are like, dude, why you carry your brother like that? Because you don't understand what loyalty is. If I have to explain it and you just don't get it, you might not be my type of person. And I'm about loyalty. That's 100% what I'm about. So I went over there, cheered him up, brought him a pizza. When I left, he didn't even say anything, no goodbyes or nothing. It wasn't like, we'll see you, thanks, you know, and nothing like that. But he text messaged me later that evening, really thanking me. A really nice text message that I was happy to get. I mean, I know he's thankful, but sometimes it's nice to hear it. And I knew I had done a good job. I didn't have to go over there. I got my own shit to do. I gave up all my shit to just go and bring a pizza to him and hang out with him, listen to his bullshit, counsel him a little bit. So it feels good to do good. And you build up a bank account of good. God smiles down upon a man who helps out his fellow man. And sometimes the things you do may not mean much to you. It's easy for you. This is what I realized, is sometimes it's really easy for me. It used to be so hard for me to even help myself or help anybody. It was so easy to hurt people. But now I flipped the script. I realized that it's so easy to help people, and many times, most of the time, it doesn't inconvenience me. It's like nothing. Take me 5 seconds, a minute, drive across town, go help a guy out, get back to my thing, make a quick phone call, check up on someone. You just never know. A little gesture when you're strong. It doesn't feel like much because you're so strong, but other people may not be as strong, and you can really help them out. I was homeless. Sure, you give money to homeless people, they're most likely going to spend it on drugs, whatever, I don't know. I don't give money to bums. You can if you want. That's a form of charity. What they spend it on doesn't even matter. It's none of your business. You're helping. Their bad choices is not your responsibility. They should take it and go buy food. If he goes buy heroin, that's not your problem. You helped. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink. I had a bum ask me for money out in front of a grocery store. I went inside the grocery store and bought him a bag of groceries, food that I picked out that I knew that he could eat, just pull out of the bag and eat. He doesn't have to cook it. Any bum could eat this stuff. When I gave him the bag of groceries, he was furious at me. He threw the bag away into the trash can that was right there and cursed at me because what he wanted was the money. But sometimes all you can do for a person is talk to him. I realized that one day I was up in DC visiting my mom. When I was staying in a hotel downtown, and there's a lot of stores and bars and restaurants and things right in the immediate area of where I was staying. So I was walking around, checking the scene out. It was a newly gentrified area, and that's the thing with DC, they're gentrifying it left and right. All the old, dingy Gotham City parts of towns have Starbucks on every corner and yuppies everywhere. I started talking to this bum, He said he'd been on the streets for 11 years. That's a long time. When you're on the streets for 11 years, that means you have severe mental illness. I was on the streets. I was homeless. If you're homeless for more than 12 months, let me say a year and a half tops, you start to go mentally ill. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Jordan Peterson. I don't care if you're the slickest, most with it fucking guy in the world. You put Sigmund Freud on the streets for 15 months, that motherfucker's gonna be a dirty, rotten, crazy son of a bitch afterwards. It just is the way it happens. But oftentimes what a guy like that needs in order to bring himself back to reality is just a conversation with somebody who is in reality. To help that motherfucker remember what it's like to be in reality. He has this, oh yeah, kind of realization that, oh, this is what a conversation with a normal person is like. This is what it's like to think like a normal person, because these motherfuckers get so lost and crazy. I was there, I remember. I've seen it happen. And by the time we were done talking, we talked for like 45 minutes on a park bench. He was a human being again. When I first started talking to him, he was a zombie. Absolutely. But when we were done, he was a human. And it's not like I have some magic touch. I'm not Jesus. I'm just some motherfucker from the streets. But you have strength. You may be able to offer stuff. You may be able to give to the world today. Be able to help somebody out today. What is it that you're doing today? Selfishness? Is that your plan for the day? Was that your goal for the day? Look at your to-do list. Put something in there that's giving. Giving is productive. Build up some of that karma. You might need it. Food for thought.